Hello and welcome to yet another exciting edition of Education in Focus on School World TV. I'm Ruth Bazane. So today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic, Parent-Teacher Association dues. If you haven't heard, the Ghana Education Service issued a statement sometime that it has suspended the collection of PTA dues in all public senior high schools. We have the lead consultant and CEO at Neogenics Education Group to tell us some of the implications this move could have on the schools.
Right, so the first thing is we need to ask ourselves, why are these schools dependent on PTA? Why is the call for it? Is it because financially the school is inadequate, ill-resourced, under-resourced? They don't have what it takes to actually deliver what the state expects of them, right? And so we need to look at that. Probably there's not enough money. And if they collected, what is it? Probably we need to have a more regulatory body that would help and audit what those funds are used for. If parents are happy to contribute, why not?
This is the part where we take you out on the streets to listen to what parents and guardians think about some of these issues. Here's what some of them have to say about the suspension of PTA dues in schools.
This is School World TV, your power to learn, teach, and lead.
In my opinion, there is no need to take those levies out. If there are wards or if there are parents who cannot afford to pay them, fine, there might be a way to sort them out. But there are so many other parents who can afford those levies, and those levies are not too much, I think. So it's not something that should be totally taken off. These monies are necessary so that the children are supported in their education. We see PTA buses, PTA assorted things that the children use, and we can see them physically. If they weren't there, of course the children will be suffering. So I think it's not something that should completely go out.
I would say I agree with them because the government is trying to provide enough to take care of all these resources. So I really don't know what the use of the PTA would be for, unless the parents themselves decide that, okay, towards this project, we've all come to the consensus to contribute and, pay towards that. Then I don't see the need for it to be paid every term. Yeah, it's not necessary unless there's a project they are working towards and they've all sat together and agreed that we should all pay this amount.
I think it shouldn't be suspended. Okay, now you see government is financing almost everything. Now we have the free SHS and then other things that government have taken fully responsibility of. So with PTA being cancelled, I think the burden is going to be too much for the government, and then we the citizens are going to suffer at the end because more taxes are going to be imposed on us to cater for such amounts of finances that have to be taken to certain sectors like GES as well.
I think it's not going to help schools to develop because governments cannot do all. And PTAs are the ones that are subsidizing government in development. Because you go to school, you see a bus donated by PTA, you see a school, a building or a structure donated by PTA. So when they suspended all the levies they take, it means that they will not have anything as a body to support the school. And I think it's not the best practice. It will not help us.
We need to be looking at this fact that a modern education provision in other countries is not only the state responsibility. Other business organizations, stakeholders contribute to education. So UK, for example, you have different types of schools. You have academies, you have free schools, you have academies where even schools that are performing well, let's say Fansipim or Adisadel or Presec, that are top schools, or Achimota, they can actually offer the government a proposal and say, you know what, we are doing so well and we think we can function without government involvement. And we have those schools in UK where, because they are outstanding, they decide that they want to be on their own. So they work with PTA, they work with old students, they work with other sponsors, whether university or other corporate organizations, and then they work together to ensure sustain that level of excellence they have attained. Right, so probably it is time for our country to begin to look at different models of how we can manage and finance our schools. And I believe that, look, if a school is not doing well and they are always having money pumped into the school, what stops us from inviting the private sector to come in, take over, and the same money that the government pushes into that school, that sponsor or trust takes that money and deliver what the Ministry of Education expects of them. So PTA dues, because I know other schools that it's been very helpful, it's transformed the school, others too hasn't, so we probably need to look at it, and I would rather want to look at what is the main reason why it's being banned, but we shouldn't allow just one spoiled grain to cause us to throw away all the grains. We'll probably need more information on that. Thank you.
You heard from the ordinary Ghanaian, you heard from the expert. What do you think? Should educating the child be left in the hands of government alone, or should all hands come on deck to ensure it comes to a successful end? Make time with us next week for another exciting topic. I'm Ruth Bazane. This is Education in Focus on School World TV.
This is School World TV, your power to learn, teach, and lead.